Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Hello and welcome to the Property News. You're watching Magic Bricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Suesha Sawant. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Mumbai's development plan is only 10 days away. Faster approvals and a greater supply of homes are big exclusive today. We bring you details of the new plan for the big city. IT capital Bengaluru and Hyderabad top the list of cities that generate the highest amount of CO2. We tell you how this impacts you. Ready reckoner rates in Maharashtra have been hiked. Ghatkopar and Vikhroli see the highest hikes. Also on the show, it has been more than 24 hours since Kolkata came to a standstill. Rescue operations are still on. While Kolkata police reaches Hyderabad to arrest IVRCL officials, politicians continue to passing the buck. And our ongoing series Water Wars, where we take stock of what is possibly turning out to be the most difficult summer India has faced in recent times. With rains having played truant last monsoon, most cities across the country are grappling with an unprecedented water crisis. Today, we focus on one of India's hottest property markets, Mumbai. Mumbai's long-delayed development plan should be ready in another 10 days. The plan proposes to allow more supply of homes in densely populated areas by hiking both TDR and FSI in the city. The BMC has also proposed measures to speed up building plan approvals. Remember, following citizens' protests, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had scrapped the development plan released last year. Mumbai has been without a plan since 2012. Magic Bricks Now's Disha Shah got us this exclusive report on what citizens can expect from the new draft development plan.
The new development plan for Mumbai proposes to increase more supply of homes in the market. The draft proposes to increase the FSI, which is also called as Floor Space Index. Right now, the FSI in Island City is 1.33 and 1 in Mumbai suburbs, and which means that right now on 1,000 square meter, developers can construct up to 1,000 square meters of built-up area, and now Civic Body has proposed this to be hiked up to 4, which also means that if this gets passed, on 1,000 square meter plot, developers will be able to construct up to 4,000 square meter of built-up area, which also means that leading to more supply of homes for you and me in the market, and all these will come in the highly densely populated areas. Another second key proposal that the draft mentions is that to increase the TDR, which is also called as transfer of development rights, from 1 to 3, which could also lead to more supply of homes in the market. Third, right now all the building approvals are being given and taken at the commissioner level, but the new DP proposes to empower the lower level to give approvals, which also means that the new DP will allow 80% of the projects to be approved by the executive engineers. And now with Auto DCR, which approves building proposals online, BMC has set aside a target to give approvals within the span of 10 days. Let me tell you that as we speak, the draft is still in the final stage. BMC sources in the DP department tell us that the draft will be ready within 10 days and will be sent to the corporation. The corporation will approve the draft by end of this month, which will be then sent to which will be then put in the public domain for citizens to give their objections and suggestions, if any, in the span of 2 months, and we can finally expect the final plan to be ready by August this year.
Alright, so hopefully it should be ready by August this year. Moving on, ready reckoner rates in Mumbai have been hiked 7% by the state's revenue department. These benchmark property rates were announced Thursday evening. My colleague Ruchi Deshpande is standing by with more details. Now Ruchi, give us a breakup of which areas in Mumbai are likely to see the maximum increase.
the Maharashtra government announced its ready reckoner rates for the state on the 31st of March, and they will be effective from the 1st of April. Now, as we told you earlier at Magic Bricks Now, Mumbai saw a hike of 7% this year versus a hike of 15% last year. Like we also told you before, most of this hike has been prevalent in the suburbs of eastern Mumbai. So let me just take you through which of them are the ones that have seen the highest increase in the city of Mumbai. In the first place, we have Ghatkopar that has seen an increase of 25%, followed by Vikhroli that has seen an increase of 22%. Third place is given to Bhandup that has seen an increase of 18%, followed by Chembur and Mulund, both which have seen an increase of 18 and 16% respectively. And lastly, we have Deonar that has seen an increase of 16%. Remember that the industry experts believe that most of the areas in Mumbai would not see an increase of more than 10%, but 76 out of 180 zones in Mumbai have seen an increase that is more than 10%. Remember that this is the rate that has been set by the government as a benchmark for the builders in case they wish to go in for the extra FSI. So in case this goes up, the builder's cost goes up and you as a home buyer have to pay more.
All right, to understand this better, we caught up with Ashwinder Raj Singh of JLL to find out what kind of an impact this move will have on the real estate market. Here's what he had to say.
This time overall the ready reckoner rates have not been increased the way they have been increased in 2013 or 2014-15. And yes, the ready reckoner rates in East Mumbai are higher because it is also a function of demand and supply. So most of the affordable and mid-segment developments in Mumbai are happening on the eastern side of Mumbai. So it is on the expected lines that the ready reckoner rates are higher or maximum on the eastern side of Mumbai. I don't think the market will get impacted a lot because the government has not increased the ready reckoner rates as per the given past trends, because the past trends of ready reckoner rate have been much higher, and this time the kind of rates that have been given are much to be honest as low as they could be. So this is not really going to impact anything, and I think it might be taken up positively that the ready reckoner rates have not been increased as they were increased in 2014 and 15. So overall the prices will remain more or less the same or in the expected lines. The home buyers I don't think will be impacted much because the rate of increase is not very high. As I said, the average is 7%, in certain places it is 4%, 5%, which I think they can always build into their overall requirements, and their budgets will not also get changed too much. So the home buyers will not get impacted adversely and they will continue with their decisions.
All right, now we also caught up with Hermes Chen, MD at Nirmal Lifestyle, and asked him how this move would impact the builder community as well as the home buyers. Listen in.
Areas that have activity, the rates have been dramatically increased, and areas that don't have activity, the rates have not been. It should be the other way around, that in fact areas where there is maximum activity you need to incentivize, because that's where the real demand is going in. So something that is really going to hurt the industry and clearly hurt demand as well. What is going to happen is that definitely this will have an impact on prices as well, and so maybe we are looking at a vicious cycle where very, very unfortunate, but prices will get impacted and prices will increase because of this hike. So we've continuously been talking to the government that looking at the way market is right now, definitely there should not be any increases. But see, the problem is that 7% is, they've taken an average of areas where practically there is no activity. So if you'll average that out with areas where there is activity, the real problem is that areas with heavy activity like central suburbs and western suburbs, the prices have dramatically been increased, which is going to dramatically impact, transaction cost and the cost to the buyer, which is a serious cause of concern. We will, as MCHI, definitely take it up with the government, and we will look at how this can be corrected.
All right, let's now shift focus to India's IT hubs. Hyderabad and Bengaluru are choking. People in these cities are exposed to maximum carbon emissions in the country, says a recent international study conducted by the Indian Institute of Science. The study compares Bengaluru, ranked second, with China's Xi'an when it comes to commute emission. While Hyderabad has emissions of 56.86% CO2 emissions, Bangalore is close with 43.83%. Clearly, while our IT cities lead the pack in job creation, they lack in quality of life. Now, we caught up with TV Ramachandra from Indian Institute of Science and asked him about the key findings of the study, which areas within the city have high levels of carbon emissions, and what were the solutions to this problem. Here's what he had to say.
Our study focuses on 10 cities in India. Among the 10 cities, we noticed that the transportation sector emits higher in Hyderabad and Bangalore to the order of about 56% and 43% respectively. The main reason for the Bangalore and Hyderabad are in the forefront is due to the lack of appropriate public transport, while the other cities seems to be doing slightly better, which has the public transport system. So for us to bring down the emission in the transportation sector in Bangalore or Hyderabad, we need to improve the public transport in the form of the metros and also the monorail, and if possible dedicated the bus service system. And second thing in Bangalore is the public transport is neither economical nor user friendly. We need to make it more economical. Wherever the traffic junctions where people spend longer time, we have noticed that there is also higher emission. So it could be Ananda Circle and it could be Electronic City. You see that, and also if you look at the outer ring road near Kammanhalli, you see the higher emissions. So these are all because of the higher the vehicular density and also the consequent increase in the CO2 emission in the air. The public transport on priority, we need to make sure the metros are all implemented on time, and and also the buses, we have to improve the buses. You know, we need to change the buses by the light body this one. Now some of them are outdated and they consume more fuel for the shorter distances. So there has to be innovations in the transportation sector. So if that happens, probably we can reduce the emission in the thing. I think once we make it user friendly and economical, by and large people will travel by the public transport. We need to do that. Even if the government has to spend some money on those things, I would say it is worth doing it than contaminating the air and make the people to pay for it.
A massive blame game has begun a day after a flyover collapsed in the heart of Kolkata. A case has been filed against IVRCL, the company that was awarded the contract for the flyover's construction. Even as several political parties have accused the government of shielding the company, IVRCL was given an 18-month deadline to finish the construction but delayed it by 7 years. The company on its part has issued a statement saying that there was no compromise on quality or any material used to build the flyover, but it will cooperate with the police in their investigation. Residents of the tragedy-struck locality have now been asked to evacuate. My colleague Padmaja sent us this ground report.
In fact, we have in our possession a notice that has been served to the residents of this area, a notice that tells them to vacate their premises. In fact, one such resident is also joining us now. What exactly has the police told you?
The police came today at around 12 o'clock and they said that within 2 to 2:30 you need to evacuate this premises because when they will be demolishing this entire beam, they said that due to vibration there might be some trouble in the building. They called some engineer as well as the bureau in charge of Kolkata Municipal Corporation came here. They had inspected the building and they said that since it might be in danger, so all the residents have been served notices to evacuate our building.
While citizens are suffering there, just a day after authorities from IVRCL blamed God for the colossal man-made tragedy, they say that it was an accident. Investigation agencies are now probing all the angles and FIR is now filed against the company officials.
At the outset, IVRCL regrets and is deeply mourning about the loss of the precious lives We are equally pained. We are in lot of sorrow and grief about the loss, and we are in deep shock about the accident that has occurred. It is merely an accident that had taken place. It is the investigation is still in process. Why it has happened, nobody is yet to arrive. We are yet to arrive at the decision. When 59 slabs are constructed using the same material, taking the same permissions, taking the same approvals from the concerned departments and the statutory authorities, and in a similar fashion, the 60th one was also constructed, and unfortunately it collapsed.
We hope the city recovers soon. Let's also now quickly take a look at what else is making news in the property market.
Let's also take a quick look at what else is making news in the property market. The Uttar Pradesh government has approved increasing of the floor area ratio by 0.5% in metro corridors. The new FAR will be applicable within a 1,000-meter radius of metro corridors in Greater Noida. Once the decision is notified in the Gazette, the amendment will be applicable to all categories of land use, excluding the residential plotted ones. Bengaluru-based realty major MJ Infrastructure plans to invest 1,000 crore in Kerala over the next 2 years. The company is planning 5 residential projects in total, of which 3 will be in Kochi, 1 in Thiruvananthapuram and Kottayam. SR Group has sold its luxury housing project in Bengaluru for Rs 3,000 crore to SNN Builders. This move is a part of the company's strategy to monetize its non-core assets. The transaction is expected to be completed in the next 30 to 45 days.
Let's now move on to our ongoing series, Water Wars. Across the country, citizens are facing the brunt of water scarcity. All through the week, Magic Bricks Now has been getting you stories of water shortage from top property markets across the country. We have looked at Bengaluru, Pune and Thane. Today, my colleague Aishwarya Paliwal gets you a ground report from India's most expensive property market, Mumbai.
Mumbai, India's commercial capital and the city of dreams. Everything, it is said, is available here for the right price. But this summer, Mumbaikars are thirsting for water. And all the money the city has at its disposal cannot buy the water it needs. Citizens of the maximum city are gradually learning to live with this new reality.
We get to know that there's going to be a shortage of water. We take precautionary measures by filling the buckets and whatever vessels for kitchen use and boiling extra water for drinking. Very careful about how we use the water. Sometimes if the laundry can be done alternately, not on every day, we try to do that and pile up the vessels. Just whatever from our part that can be done to conserve as much water as possible.
Housing societies across Mumbai are already facing scheduled water cuts once a week. The city needs 480 million litres of water every day, but it gets only 320 million litres on a daily basis. It draws its water supply from 7 lakes, but this resource is fast dwindling. Bhatsa Lake has 2 months of stock left, and Vetarna about 3 months. Worst hit areas like Andheri, Bandra, Bhandu are the areas that get municipal corporation water only for a few hours on a daily basis. Now, societies in all these areas regularly hold meetings with the citizens, and they are looking at putting many measures in place so that they do not face this crisis on a regular basis. Also, what individuals are doing is that they have limited their consumption of water, and now they are making sure that they use the water very judiciously.
First of all, our society always informs us when water cuts. So first we check our tanky, water is filled it or not. And second, we start filling our buckets and tubs and all. And we stop working our washing machine and dishwasher and all. So we can save water. Society also call for water tanker if we face water shortage.
The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation tasked with running India's financial capital, blames poor rain for this scarcity. It has asked for more water for the city from the State Irrigation Department. In fact, BMC has asked that Mumbai gets 50% of the drought-stricken state's water reserves.
Desalination is a very expensive option for a poor city like Mumbai. I'm saying poor because we have priorities. Desalination water can cost 41 rupees per 1000 litre, whereas the catchment area water usage is at 4 rupees 25 paise. You have to understand the financial implication of desalination.
The country's richest civic body is also looking at other long-term solutions to the water crisis. One easy but expensive solution, of course, is to do what other global cities like Singapore have successfully done. Use seawater to meet cities' needs. But that will take time. Meanwhile, Mumbaikars can look forward to a hot, dry summer. Aishwarya Paliwal, Magic Bricks Now.
In all this, we must remember to use water judiciously and not waste it. Now, quick programming reminder before we move on. India's water crisis has worsened this year, and as usual, authorities responsible for our waterless plight are busy passing the buck. Now, we at Magic Bricks Now have begun a nationwide campaign to make the authorities accountable. Join our campaign for the fight for water. You can call us, write to us, tweet out on our hashtag Water Wars. Send us pictures, even selfies, and we will make your voice heard. Alright, moving on. Many of us like photography, and I'm sure that most of us love to be photographed. In today's digital world, most of us do not hold on to physical copies of the photographs, but if we do, I'm sure that we'd love to have a frame of it. Which is why in this week's episode of Design It Yourself, Akash Berry shows you how to make a photo frame but with a twist. Take a look.
How about we DIY a kick-ass photo frame? That too, एक इतनी ordinary चीज का इस्तेमाल करते हुए, it will give you a pleasant surprise. How about to make this photo frame, we use something very ordinary like clothespin. Usually इसका इस्तेमाल तभी होता है जब हमें कपड़े सुखाने होते हैं. But today we're going to be using clothespin to make a kick-ass photo frame. So first we'll take a round piece of mirror. Then take a cardboard और उसमें से एक गोल पीस काट लीजिए. Cut off the center part. Then using any strong adhesive, stick this cardboard piece on the mirror like this. Let it dry for a while. Press hard from behind ताकि ये अच्छे से चिपक जाए. Here we go. Then take these clips or pins and using the adhesive, stick them this way. So once you are done and it's completely dry, it's gonna look like this.
That's an interesting photo frame there. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Property News. Thank you so much for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.